ProEngineer is one of the platforms that you get for free with your build kit, but they're being sponsored by Autodesk, and so I have access to Autodesk Inventor for free, and it's not dissimilar from SolidWorks and ProEngineer, so I'm willing to learn it if you are. You just have to be a little bit patient with me. I don't know where all the menu picks might be, but the concepts are the same. So thanks.
Thank you. And I'm going to tell you that we are working hard to encourage the University of Portland to join the very long list of schools that offer specific engineering scholarships for students, which is what I'm going to talk about for our last bit of time here. And one of the ways we could encourage them the most would be if we had a student mentor from the University of Portland on every single one of our robotics teams. That would really send a message back to the school, because those people would become your ambassadors, and they would say, man, we want these students at University of Portland, and how are we going to get them here? Because once they start interacting with you, they're going to see your enthusiasm and your skill level and want what you could bring to their college. So I'm going to ask you, if you are a team captain or a coach or a mentor here, I'm going to ask you to please take the initiative to get in touch with Deb and try and grab a University of Portland engineering student as an extra mentor for your team. I was working with a group this morning and I said, does anybody have more mentors than they need? And not a single team said they had more than they need. So take her up on this offer. So if I can figure out how to make this work, or I might have to have a student come down. Can I get a computer volunteer for? Perfect. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is talk about the opportunities that you get specifically from FIRST because you've been on a robotics team. There is an astonishing amount of scholarship money available to FIRST students. And believe it or not, some of it every year goes unused, which is just, it's mind-boggling to me. And one of the scholarships that my daughter got last year from the Fluid Power Society, which was a $1,000 scholarship, they didn't give them all away this past year. World's easiest application. If you had pneumatics on your robot, you had to take a picture of your robot with the pneumatics and write one paragraph explaining how you used pneumatics on your robot. And they didn't give them all away. Come on, guys, that's ridiculous. So I want to encourage you. A bunch of the scholarships are school-specific. So they're being given by the school for you to come to their school. Some of them are school-specific only for 11th graders. Now, of course, there's a little ulterior motive from that school, right? They want to give you a scholarship in 11th grade, and therefore you won't even look at anywhere else by the time that you get to 12th grade. And many school-specific scholarships, believe it or not, go unused. In the state of Oregon, last year, school-specific scholarships from Oregon Institute of Technology went unused. From private school ITT, International Trade and Technical University, went unused. OSU's robotic scholarships were all used across the country, and we can go down this list. There was, believe it or not, quite a few unused ones. Besides the school scholarships, there are some business-sponsored scholarships. So BAE Systems, anybody here have a team that's sponsored in part by BAE Systems? See a couple hands there. BAE Systems gives an automatic $1,000 scholarship to every team it sponsors. And the coach of the team and the principal of the high school every year get a letter that says which student on your team are we going to award it to this year, and they send in the name, and that person gets $1,000 credit card that they get to use to help pay their school tuition. So there's lots of opportunities beyond school-specific ones. I urge you, when you look at your list of schools you're thinking about, go to the FIRST website. Pull up the list of schools that are offering FIRST scholarships, and even if you've never heard of them, give those schools another look. Some of those schools offer 4-year full tuition scholarships. And some of them don't have a set limit of how many they offer. So I don't know if you can see this up here, but last year we were saying there's $9.8 million of scholarship money available from schools and organizations to first students. At the end of last year, when they did the statistics and kept track of all the first people who got scholarships and they added it up, it came out to $14.4 million in first scholarships. So the question was, well, how did it go up? If only 9.8 was offered and some of those offers went unused, how did all that extra money get offered? And the reason is that schools oftentimes don't have a set number of scholarships that they're going to give out to first students. And when they get impressive applications and they want you there, instead of giving out 5, they give out 9. I mean, it's pretty astonishing. Why do schools, engineering colleges, want first students way more than just the average student with your same grades and test scores? Excellent. They have hands-on, first-hand experience working with engineering. One of the interesting things that FIRST has started tracking is to see how much engineering curriculums have changed now that more FIRST students are coming into their programs. Because at a lot of schools in the past, first 2 years were pretty much theoretical. So you learned how to use the CAD system. You learned about how to do stuff, but you didn't actually do it. And it wasn't until your junior year in engineering school that you actually got to do some hands-on stuff. First students don't put up with that. They expect to walk in a classroom and in their freshman year to get to do hands-on stuff. And so a lot of schools have had to readjust their curriculum because the first graduates are up-leveling the entry level for engineering education. So you guys are creating a dynamic wave that's pretty exciting, and schools want you there. They know that you'll be able to help other students. They know that your enthusiasm is really high. So this is a very interesting presentation. It doesn't list all the places offering scholarships. That's on the FIRST website. But it does list the breakout of who got scholarships, male to female, different ethnic minorities, parts of the country. And it also has a very long list of all the schools whose engineering scholarships went untaken this past year. So I encourage you, this has been posted on our local website, and I encourage you to go have a look. We are out of time, but if anyone wants to ask me questions or I have some flyers up the front, feel free to come up and take them.